I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Good morning.
It's time to wake up.
This is Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network.
Did you not get the memo? Let's get busy.
Everybody. All right, Nancy. Let me hear you. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back for
Here it comes.
Root for the White Sox. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Hey!
I had to do that. Good morning! And off we go. Welcome to Snowman in the Morning on this Thursday. And it's still snowing. The reason I played that, come on, spring, please get here. Baseball season, please get here. Snowman in the Morning presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, where they remind you to live your best. And by Slugmaster, baseball and softball hitting and training aids. Slugmaster, turning batters into hitters. That clip you heard was from 1980, and I played that when I was working in Linwood at the Ho Chunk Baseball Complex once upon a time. And a lady came up to me and said, I had a Nancy Fowles version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, and I kept playing it, and I ran into these hardcore Cub fans that looked at me and said, we want to hear Harry Carey. And I said, what are you talking about? We're tired of this White Sox stuff. We want to hear Harry Carey, which should give you a clue on how big the rivalry is between the two teams here in Chicago. My friend Victor was with me in the booth, and I looked at my soundboard, and I said, okay. And I got ready to cue it up, and Victor walked away into the bar laughing because he knew what I was going to do. And all I said on the microphone was, don't forget, you asked for it. I played that clip. Everybody, there were some other Cub fans there. Let me say that. There were some other Cub fans there. But when I played that clip, they were cracking up laughing. And I mean, they were really cracking up laughing. But the person that wanted me to play said clip was not pleased. And she let me know about it. And she says, how could you play that? How could you do such a thing? I looked at her and I said, you said you wanted to hear Harry Carey. You never said which version. Needless to say, she was not pleased with me and walked away. Disgusted could not even be a word to use. That's my morning story, and I'm sticking to it. That was a few years ago. And speaking of sticking to it, let's find out what the heck happened last night before another Cub fan decides to choke me. Now, I want to tell him I did that as a joke. Rusty Silber's on the line with me. Morning, Rusty.
Good morning, Brian. I'm not going to choke you. Don't worry about it. The Cubs have been choking for a while. I hate to be honest. Until we see a change, we're going to be that way. And Sox fans, too, are going to have to wait and see, too, as well, coming up in the next few months.
Yeah, I know. This is coming from a Cub fan, folks. What's on the wrap for us this morning?
Well, good morning, Brian, everybody. Welcome to Thursday, Rusty's Morning Wrap-Up, presented by TCF Bank, the official bank of the Arena Sports Network. Blackhawks made it 2 straight victories. Hawks shut out the Ducks 2-0 in Anaheim. Corey Crawford had his first shutout of the season, made 29 saves. Jonathan Toews, Marian Hossa each scored for the Hawks. Johnny Alduga missed the game for a lower body injury and broke his string of 124 straight games. Hawks play its final game before the Olympic break against the Coyotes in Phoenix. That'll be tomorrow night. Patrick Kane will miss the game because of a personal matter, be with his family after the loss of his paternal grandfather.
Aww.
Bulls picked up a 101-92 victory over the Suns in Phoenix the other night in the second game of back-to-back on the road. Bulls are at 500 on this long road trip, and they'll next take on the Warriors coming up late this evening. College basketball, 10th-ranked Michigan down Nebraska 79-50. UIC lost to Green Bay 81-70, and Illinois State rolled past Northern Iowa 76-65. Games coming up this evening. Penn State will visit number 9th-ranked Michigan State, and Bradley will be taking on Loyola. Seattle Seahawks celebrated their recent Super Bowl 48 victory in downtown Seattle in front of an estimated 700,000 fans. Coach Pete Carroll led the Seahawks to a chant and mentioned the team will be back. We're just getting warmed up. It's the city's first major championship since 1979, last won by the Seattle Supersonics. National Signing Day took place on Wednesday with a number of high school athletes taking the next step. Football especially got the nod. SEC dominated in the signings with Alabama at the top of the class. Pac-12 and the Big Ten had its share. Northwestern and NIU had a number of highly talented area recruits go their way. Winter Olympics, Sochi, Russia. The opening ceremonies will take place later on this evening. Opening events, snow and snowboarding, freestyle skiing, and figure skating started up already here today. And lastly, Brian, Bears announced ticket prices for the 2014 season, with increases, of course, ranging from $2 to $12, an overall average increase of 4.1%. Now, according to the team, 50% of the seating bowl saw a $2 increase. Non-club season ticket prices now range from $81 to $175 with those seats, in which 58% will increase $2, accounting for 85% of the capacity at Soldier Field. The average ticket increase for non-club seats, according to the team, is 4.6%. So let's just say you're going to see a bump in your price of a ticket.
Again.
And what else is new? Rusty Silver for the Arena Sports Network, and don't forget to visit TCF Bank for more information.
Thank you, Rusty. Please stay warm today because it's going to be absolutely brutal.
I heard a rumor that it's going to warm up next week.
I hope that's a true one. I hope that's...
Well, as long as it breaks 32 degrees, that's warm.
That's warm for us, absolutely. Thanks a lot, Rusty. Appreciate it.
Have a good day. Bye.
Rusty Silver for Rusty's Morning Wrap, as you heard, presented by TCF Bank. A pause for a break, and when we come back, I may have a couple of more funny stories for you. And we're going to find out who's in the chat with us. That is that's on the opposite side of the break. You are listening to Snowman in the Morning, and you're hearing it live on the Arena Sports Network. I'll be back.
Hey, you guys. Could I ask you a couple questions?
Okay.
Saving money, what's it like for you?
Well, I'm an artist, so it happens sporadically.
But it does happen?
It does happen, and when it happens, it feels really, really good.
With easier savings at TCF Bank, what would you save for?
Oh, clothes and shoes. Housing repairs.
To buy a new car. I'm saving for grad school.
And then I'm hoping to just save up, just to have savings, period.
What would make it easier to save money?
Having like a sugar mama.
Which isn't a bad plan, but if you needed a banking plan or something, what would make it easier?
Something with an
automatic transfer?
Something with an automatic transfer, probably.
So you wouldn't even notice the money?
Automatically transferred.
Automagical.
Automagical, oh my gosh.
How much could you save if saving were actually easy? Open an account at the home of free checking today and find out. For locations and more information, call 1-855-OPEN-TCF or go to tcfbank.com. TCF Bank. Surprisingly simple. Member FDIC.
An ordinary sunny day. An ordinary family's living room filled with an ordinary bunch of kids. And they were doing nothing. They were couch slouching. They were rug imitating. And lazy minute after lazy minute was passing them by. When suddenly...
Huh? Hey guys, that's a personal foul. Inactive activity on a sunny day.
Coming to the rescue was NFL running back Reggie Bush.
Players don't get lazy penalties. Let's play.
Those kids, they listened to Reggie. They got up and play they did. There was fun and running. There were smiles and jumping. And laziness was crushed.
Hey, kids, don't get a lazy penalty.
Kids, listen to Reggie and avoid lazy penalties. Be a player. Get up and play for an hour a day. Go online to check out smallstep.gov for fun playtime ideas.
So you can be a player, too.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Be a player.
Wake up, Josh. Wake up, I said. Off we go. Snowman in the morning, 12 beyond the hour, here on the Arena Sports Network and thearenasportsnetwork.com. We thank you for joining us. If you're here in the Midwest or out east, we hope that you are staying warm. Jeff Escal has joined us in the chat as always, and he loves to tease me saying that's what you get for living where you live. Yeah, true. Oh, man. We're going to have a party this morning. We're going to have a lot of fun. And I'm waiting on my super producer, Josh, to check into check in with us. He'll do that in a minute. Want to welcome Jeff Escal into the chat from Sports World Radio. He joined me last week, and I think he'll be receptive to this idea. May have him on each week. I want to give a good title to a segment to have him on. I know he wants to get me on SWR. That will be done. That'll be done early next week, deciding on the day. Man, my better half, the princess to her Mario, Liz is in this morning. And I had the Gigahertz question that I asked yesterday, if you could be a Super Mario character, who would it be? Liz's answer was one of the best when she said, I'd be the princess to keep Mario in line. Yeah, she'd do that, and I welcome it. The merch, Ronald Murchison's in the house with us. Good morning, Ronald. Thank you for joining us in the chat as always. And I know I'm going to see the good doctor, Michael Prince. Let me tell y'all something. When I launched Snowman in the morning, it was only for an hour. And I was using another platform to broadcast. And the listenership was good, but I know it needed to get better. And Jeff was in my ear. Jeff Escal, Sports World Radio, was in my ear saying, dude, you got to go to Spreaker. Your numbers will jump. People will listen. I thought about it, and finally, January 2nd of this year, I said, the heck with it, let's do it. So I did, and I believe this morning we will cross in a little over 5 weeks with all of the programming that we had there, because we moved our play-by-play programming there as well. In a little over 5 weeks, we would have crossed a little over, I think later this morning, my mistake. In a little over 5 weeks, it should happen later this morning, we would have crossed 4,000 total listens in 5 weeks. Spreaker.com, search the Arena Sports Network. You can follow us there. Follow us online at Facebook.com/The Arena Sports Network. And also Facebook.com/Snowman in the Morning. You can download our podcast version of SITM on iTunes. And if you have any thoughts, give us a text. Our Gigahertz text line is now officially open. You can text us at 312-548-1386. Let us know your thoughts. Use the hashtag SITM. That's our initials for Snowman in the Morning, which also are our initials on our show page, thearenasportsnetwork.com/SITM. And we got a new listener, and her name is Carrie. This is Jeff's better half joining in. Good morning, Carrie. Thank you for joining us. We're all about sharing the love here on SITM. Again, if you want to let us know your thoughts, hit the Gigahertz text line at 312-548-1386. Give us your thoughts or your questions that you may want us to ask or subjects you want us to talk about. Use the hashtag SITM. Now, let's get down to business, shall we? There has been a lot of talk about the Richie Incognito, Jonathan Martin situation. Now, each of the players did an interview. And for those of you who are unaware of the situation, this is what happened really, really briefly. Allegedly, Richie Incognito sent a lot of threatening texts and racial slurs to Jonathan Martin, which caused Jonathan Martin to walk out on the Dolphins, as he cited for personal reasons. There's my super producer, Josh. He is on with us. And Josh and I are going to have a little fun tomorrow. More on that in a minute. That's the situation, which basically turned out to be a bunch of bullying. Now, with each player having done an interview, and admittedly, I have not had the opportunity to watch or listen to the interviews yet, and I will do that today. So I can't pass a full opinion on it yet. But it is popular opinion that Richie Incognito, whose suspension has since been lifted, will land a job quicker than Jonathan Martin. And the factor that is being used is that Jonathan Martin walked out on his team. Well, he may have walked out on his team, and this is according to all the reports that I heard, that when you feel threatened, and a lot of factors came out about Jonathan Martin's character, him being soft-spoken, and things like that. What also I heard this morning is some of the theories that Incognito will land a job because his suspension has been lifted and he'll become a free agent, that he'll land a job quicker than Martin will. And some of the theories that I've heard were these. He will land a job quicker because after he did his interview, he laid low for a while and didn't say anything and provided, some of the answers that the public wanted to hear. Jonathan Martin did an interview with Tony Dungy, which I will take a peek at later today, and I'll have my assessment on this tomorrow. But according to the populace, he did not provide the answers that the public was looking for to either substantiate or deny the behavior that goes on in the locker room. Another theory that I heard with Incognito having a better chance to get a job than Jonathan Martin is that's the attitude in the locker room. Here is where I will weigh in. That may be the attitude in the locker room. Yeah, you want to make sure all your players are tough and everything. But at the same time, with it being a rough, tough locker room atmosphere, you want to make sure all your teammates are accepted and a part of the team. You don't want to single out or close out anybody. Liz drops me a note. Martin wants to come back and play in the NFL, and I'm actually hoping that both of them do. Are they going to be teammates? I doubt it. But the theory is that Incognito will get a job quicker than Martin will. My thing is, I hope both of them land a job soon, and I also hope that this incident is finished. Will it be in the public of popular opinion? Probably not. But I don't think it's acceptable for athletes in professional sports especially to be bullied the way Jonathan Martin claims that he was bullied. I mean, you could play practical jokes on your teammates. It happens all the time. But when it goes too far, then there's a problem. And the organizations involved need to address it, and they need to address it quickly because it can disturb your atmosphere. Now, granted, the Dolphins went on a little bit of a run after all the incidents came out and all of the accounts of the incidents came out, but all those accounts and that incident basically destroyed their season. Here's a good question. If you're an owner of an NFL team, do you take either one of them? That's a tough call. That's a tough call because not only do you have to look at their football skills, you also have to look at their skills off the field, which is what the owners and the coaches do. if they have convinced you that they've made changes and that they have gotten better and they have put their past behind them, then yeah, you can take a chance. But which one would you take? Would you take Incognito because of his brash personality, or would you take Martin, the gentle giant? It's tough to choose. Both of them are offensive linemen, and this day and age, offensive linemen with the pass-happy offense that the NFL has become, offensive linemen are at a premium. So you want to take a chance on either of them, but at the same time, until you do your own investigation as an owner and as a coach, you got to keep in this point, at this point in time, you have to wait. Now, no news has come out for the investigation as of yet. The investigation results haven't come out yet. And we don't know what's going to be revealed. Everything that is being thrown out right now are based on the interviews that have been done well after the incident, part one. Part two, speculation on the part of the fans and on the part of the media, because that's partially what we do. But there have been no results posted as of yet. Once those results come out, the people will have a clear understanding of what's to happen or which course of action the owners can take. Looking at it on the surface, you know what? You want to be a coach that gives a second chance to players, and most coaches do. You want to give a second chance for someone to rebuild their image. Okay? You want that to happen. Can you make a decision right now? No. Why? The investigation results have not come out yet. And once they come out, you can make your decision from there. If I were an owner, I probably would take a chance. Which one? I don't know. It all depends on my team's own investigation, as I said before. We're talking about sleep or lack thereof, all the folks here at the Arena Sports Network. Merch drops this note to me. It is possible Incognito was better at trash talking than Martin, to the point that Martin couldn't handle it. That could be a possibility. That could definitely be a possibility. And that could be the reason that all of the bullying started. I mean, I'll say it again, you want to get your teammates tough, okay? But once you get them to that point, that is where the trash talking should stop, and you bring them in as a teammate. That should be your goal. If you're a veteran and you see a rookie that's trying to fit in, get them in, get them toughened up, but then tell them, you're my brother, you're my teammate, let's rock. And this is not an isolated incident either. Oh, we're going to have fun now. Snowman in the Morning, presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best. And as we roll right along here, we're going to go off the board. You know what? A lot of people in the chat right now are mentioning something that's very important to what we're doing, but we haven't gotten a lot of it, and that's sleep. I don't know when the last time I got a good night's sleep. I mean, I got in late last night from Deerfield covering TIU doubleheader. Sleep? What's that? No one knows what that is anymore because here you go. Josh says that sleep is not a big deal to me. I enjoy doing the articles on our Facebook page. It's just the work ethic that I have that I always have. And Josh, you are absolutely correct. The work ethic that you have shown and have taught me and taught the rest of us here at ASN has been absolutely ridiculous, and we all have picked up on it and have raised our level. Now, here's a question. As you know, last year, the NFL Network televised the Thursday night games. Now, 8 of them are heading to CBS. It was announced last night that CBS will air 8 Thursday night games. Well. CBS has always been like one of the primetime networks, but they really jump into primetime with this announcement. They've acquired the rights to Thursday Night Football. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms will do the honors. And they'll, in addition to broadcasting 8 early season games, CBS will produce a total of 14 Thursday night games and 2 Saturday evening games. The remaining games will air on NFL networks. The 8 on CBS will also be simulcast on the NFL network. The twist, this is according to CBSSports.com. NFL Network hosts will be used in the pregame, halftime, and postgame shows along with the CBS Sports announcers. Les Moonves said in a statement, quote, "We are very pleased to build on our outstanding partnership with the NFL by expanding our coverage to Thursday nights. CBS is a premium content company, and the NFL represents the best premium content there is. I look forward to all this new deal will do for us not only on Thursday night, but across our entire schedule," close quote. Chairman Sean McManus, quote, "The NFL's most powerful programming in television. To add an NFL primetime package to our successful Sunday AFC package further strengthens our position in the sports marketplace. We look forward to having Jim and Phil and our top production team showcased in prime time on Thursday nights," close quote. Roger Goodell added his 2 cents, quote, "NFL Network built Thursday night into a night for NFL fans. Our goal is to bring these games to more fans on broadcast television with unprecedented promotion and visibility for Thursday night football on CBS," close quote. Then the story ends. The agreement is only for the 2014 season, but the NFL holds an option for an additional year. Josh put this on the slate. Oh man, sleep is almost 5:30 a.m. here, for Jimmy Cricket's sake, and I'm here doing my thing. Thank you, Jeff. Liz says on the trash talk issue, you can trash talk, but be respectful and make it in a way to help them improve. That is so true. Now, Josh put this on the slate, so I'm going to talk about it. He adds talk about sleep, Phil Simms and Jim Nantz. I guess from an announcer standpoint, I think Kevin Harlan would be a better fit, or Greg Gumbel would be a better fit. You just won't have Dan Dierdorf if it's Greg Gumbel because he retired. So what does CBS do with their Thursday night lineup, i.e. Big Bang Theory, The Millers, 2.5 Men, The Crazy Ones? 2 of those shows will probably get aired. We won't know anything until, I say, late spring when they release the schedule, or early summer when they release the football schedule. Dr. Michael Prince is in the house with us in the chat. Good morning to you. Let me throw this. Would you rather have Jim Nantz, Greg Gumbel, or Kevin Harlan voice the Thursday night games? For me, it's either Kevin Harlan or Greg Gumbel. I mean, nothing against Jim Nantz. Don't get me wrong. Nothing against him at all. But once upon a time, Greg Gumbel was the lead announcer when CBS got the rights back. And they picked up the AFC rights. And having football back on CBS has been a boon to them. Because remember, they lost it in 1994 after the NFC Championship with the 49ers and the Cowboys. They lost the NFC package to Fox. So 4 years later, they get the AFC package from NBC, which now has Sunday Night Football. It's been a game of musical chairs since 1994. And Fox started all this mess by snatching the rights to the NFC, outbidding CBS. But Josh said yesterday, sometimes you have to move away from tradition, and I understand that. And my super producer adds this, Kevin Harlan, he would rather have Kevin Harlan voice the Thursday night games. Oh, Dr. Prince is being a little selfish. He said, neither one of them, I would choose me. You know what? That wouldn't be such a bad idea. On the condition, if you would do the Thursday night games on television, Dr. Prince, I would do the Thursday night games on radio, which CBS is connected to Westwood One on the radio. I would love to do the Thursday night games on the radio. Matter of fact, you know what? That would be fun. That would be fun if we would do mock broadcasts of the Thursday night games. That would be fun. I think Josh sends this note to me. You should call the games. Like I said, I would do them on radio, and it wouldn't be through Westwood One. It would be through our network. I'm being greedy. Not going to be a good day, but it'll be all right. Why is it not going to be a good day for you, Merch? Okay, we got to make Ron laugh now. He said he's not going to have a good day. We got to fix that. We got to have a good. Oh, you're wrong, Dr. Prince. He says he has a face for radio. Oh, I've been told the same thing. Oh, come on, Ron. All right, folks. We got to make Ronald laugh. We got to make Ronald laugh sometime, and we got to do it today. We got to have smiles all across the board. 32 beyond the hour. Come back after a break, and I'll talk a little basketball, but not in the way that you would think. This is Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network and the arenasportsnetwork.com. Back in a flash.
My name is Matt Rencars, and I'm the founder of Fusion Ions. We are so confident that you're going to love our bands. We want you to try one risk-free so you can see for yourself how powerful these bands really are. Don't wait. Go to FusionIons.com to find out how you can receive your very own free Fusion Ions band. Take advantage before they are gone. FusionIons.com. That's FusionIons.com.
Do you suffer from severe chronic pain caused by a back or neck injury, migraine headaches, or a work injury? Take heart. Midwest Interventional Spine Specialist is the region's leading provider of minimally invasive, non-surgical pain treatments. For more than a decade, physicians and patients in Munster, Dyer, East Chicago, Hammond, Hobart, Merrillville, St. John, and Valparaiso have turned to Miss First for effective relief of even the most severe and painful conditions. Our board-certified fellowship-trained experts use a wide range of minimally invasive techniques to dramatically relieve your pain. In fact, for more than a decade, Miss Specialists have been first to deliver proven effective treatment innovations for spinal pain and other conditions to patients throughout northwestern Indiana. For more information, pay us a visit at 8840 Calumet Avenue, Suite 103 in Munster, or give us a call at 219-836-7246. The Midwest Interventional Spine Specialist, First Improvement Pain Solutions, first in patient care.
At Strachan Van Til, everything we do is designed around you. From the uncompromising freshness down every aisle to the unbeatable quality you'll always find. It's the very best selection from choice meats to bakery. And getting honest value every single day, all with the friendly personal service and the savings that you deserve. That's built around you. That's Strachan Van Til. Visit svtgroceries.com today.
Gigahertz, providing customers with excellent service since 2008. Computer problem? Leave it to the staff at Gigahertz, priding themselves with an unparalleled work ethic and continuing to offer customers the lowest prices around. Gigahertz services include PC repair, networking, PC setup, custom PC builds, pickup and delivery, in addition to in-home and in-office service. Get small to large business solutions, service contracts, and much more. Computer problems? Gigahertz. And that's where we come in. Gigahertz for your computer repair and solution needs. In-home, in-store, wherever it's convenient for you. Think your PC's infected? Gigahertz offers free virus diagnostics, with most virus removals done in 48 hours or less. Plus, they'll optimize your PC. Take that, Best Buy. Give Gigahertz a call. 219-218-9323. That's 219-218-9323. Or log on to gigahertzpc.net. Gigahertz. And that's where we come in.
What up, Fitz? Fitz is back. And so are we. Snowman in the Morning, presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best. Fitz is back with us, and we found out why Ron is not in a good mood. Last week he posted on Facebook, and I hope I'm allowed to do this, that a sick pet, sick cats, Today, she's laying in one spot and barely breathing, so I think she's going to leave me today, and she's 12. Oh, man. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Ron. Josh Lopez adds, dog died last year when he was 16. Here's what a lot of people don't realize is that when you become attached to pets, it's something, you know, and this would be a good song for the Exelon Files. I think I got a couple of them that I want to use, Josh. But, Ron, we're going to do our best to cheer you up today. And if your cat goes on to glory, we're going to send her in a blaze of glory with a big smile. That's what we're about here on Snowman in the Morning. Remember, Gigahertz text line is open. Text us at 312-548-1386. And use the hashtag SITM for whatever you want to talk about. And also, if you're here in the Midwest, please stay warm. Please stay warm. Man, hit Jeff with a thought. His Jack Russell just died on Thanksgiving. He was 14. Ron, it doesn't matter when a pet leaves its owner, when a pet dies, it's really, really tough. So we are here for you, and we are here with you, and we are going to provide you and your cat. What's your cat's name? Let's see if we can give us his cat's name. And Carrie with a thought. Sammy died last year. You know, y'all don't know how tough this is. You know, when a pet is like a family member, especially if you had him for a while. Ron, what's your cat's name? We'll give her a proper send off should that be the case. People are really attached to pets because I know if I had one, I'd be attached to it. You know. Now let's make some people laugh in here. And I think I know the correct way to do it. I have 2 questions of the day coming up. Josh gave me one, and I just came up with this one. And the reason we're doing this, and we're going totally off the board, so for those traditionalists that tune in and want to hear a lot of sports talk, you will, but you're going to have to forgive us. But we want to give Ron a smile today because his pet is not well. And Ronald has a fear, Murch has a fear that she may be leaving him today. And I'm telling the folks right now, don't judge. Okay? Please don't judge. Because losing a family member, be it of the 2-legged or the 4-legged variety, is not fun at all. So we're out to give Ron some love. We're out to give Ronald some laughs. And we're going to do that right now. Now I will say this. Let's get things cranked up in here. Baseball's on the way. I didn't plan to talk about baseball for a while. In particular, a certain North Side team. But given the fact that Ronald needs a laugh right now, I think I better bring a subject back that I know will make him smile. And one of the things that Ron loves and said that Josh Lopez and I are ordered not to stop doing is picking on the Cubs. So, with that in mind, here's a question for all you Cub fans out there. I want to know what it is about Wrigley Field that is so nostalgic. Now, it's been declared a landmark here in Chicago. What makes it so nostalgic, though? The reason two reasons I pose this question. Number one, I'm going to try to get a cheap laugh out of Ron to cheer him up. Number two, I've only been there once. Okay, for a Cubs game. I've been there a couple of times for a high school game. A couple of high school games, city championships. I know it's different when there's 40,000 people in the place. and crazy things happen. Oh, man. Here we go. John Fitz got us started. They only have one good player, and I think his last name is Samardzija. Doc Prince, beer and lots of it. Ron, we're doing this for you so we can get you cheered up and get you laughing, considering the situation you're going through right now. Fitz adds, ivy on the outfield walls. That's a good answer. But you know the ivy is about to be replaced with a lot of signage, supposedly. And Josh, my super producer Josh, just went both ways. It's nostalgic. It's a dump. You can smell the Polish sausages from 3 blocks away, and you just start running away. Okay. Here was my trip to Wrigley Field. It happened in 1998. I talked about this briefly, but here is the full story. The person that I was with at the time, this was 1998, invited me to a Cubs game. My first question is, why? And she said, well, free tickets and free food. Okay, I'm in. Oh, Doc Prince is at it. It's common ground for losers to gather and feel love. Oh, my gracious. I'm hoping Jeff and Carrie get in on the fun, too. Like I said, the reason I'm doing this right now is to give Ronald Murchison a laugh, who's going through a very, very tough time right now. Of course, sitting on the rooftops. There you go, Fitz. Fitz, would you sit on one of the rooftops? Or have you? There you go. Have you done one of the rooftops yet? I usually see the rooftop fans when I ride by Wrigley Field on the red line. Okay? Which is the best way here in Chicago to get to Wrigley Field. The place where losing was founded. Oh, Josh, you are so wrong. The place where losing was founded. Fitz says, I agree, but I'd only go there if the tickets are free and the beer keeps flowing. You know what? The time that I went there, like I said, was 98, was offered a ticket. I originally said no, but then was given the offer free beer, free food, and free tickets. I'm like, okay, I'm in. Oh, boy. So I get there. We get in the suite. It was a Ticketmaster suite. Yes, Ticketmaster still lives. We get in the suite, and I'm smelling the brats. I'm smelling the dogs, the burgers. Of course, the beer was flowing. I said, what the hell? So I grab a beer, grab a couple of brats, and I'm sitting inside. Merch adds this. It's the Ivy and the manually operated scoreboard. There's a good reason. I just love the Cubs and fell in love with the park when I first walked into the park in 1971. Cubs versus Giants, Jenkins versus Don Carruthers, and the Cubs won 6-5. Josh says, I make fun of the food because I got food poisoning the last time I went. Ouch. Oh, that's just wrong. Doc Prince said, I would go there to take a dump since they play like, yeah, you know the word that he wants to use. That's just wrong, Doc Prince. True as it is, that's just wrong. I'm enjoying the game. They were playing the Montreal Expos. And Carrie says, I've never been to Wrigley. I'm not going back, and this is the reason. They're playing the Montreal Expos, and old Snowman had a call to nature. I had only been told about the bathroom situation, and then I walked in there and I saw a trough. And I went, what the hell is this? There is a line of guys in the bathroom in a trough, peeing in a trough. Forgive the way this has gone. So, well, that drew me away from Wrigley once and for all. I went back in the suite, ate more brats, drank more beer. Carrie Harry says not missing much, Jeff. We have special made food for Sox fans. Oh, my God. Oh, man. But, yeah, that's what I want to know. What is it about Wrigley Field? And I want to hear from a lot more Cub fans. They always tell me it's the beer. They tell me it's the ivy. They tell me it's the scoreboard. I want to hear a few more. Even Liz gets in on the fun. Wrigley is a place where all the Harry Carey fans can go get drunk to salute him. And anybody who's watched the Cubs game on WGN back in the day, which I have, knows that when he started the broadcast, they never showed a shot of this. He would have a pitcher of beer. It would be out of the shot, but by the time he wrapped up the post game, it would be empty. It would be flat out empty. Yeah, Liz knows that he started on the South Side. You know, he wasn't allowed to drink on the South Side either. He gets an endorsement deal with Budweiser when he goes to the Cubs in '82, and the rest is history. You know, 47 beyond the first hour, 13 before the second hour. Mike to Mike flashback featuring Seth Cantor will come your way at 5 beyond the second hour. Snowman in the morning, this portion presented by Gigahertz, the official computer solutions company of the Arena Sports Network. Oh, Doc Prince, you are foul. I love it. It's really the unemployment line. The only one who works there is the scoreboard keeper. Oh, boy. Merch says, give me Jack Brickhouse any day. I'll actually agree with that thought. Harry was entertaining, but he was also drunk half the time. Oh, boy. Josh Lopez adds, why is it you go to Wrigley Field, you look outside the ballpark because you want to be back home? He almost fell out of the window a couple of times when singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game because he was drunk. Yeah, I can believe it. I can believe it. All right. Ron, I hope you got a good laugh out of this. We're trying to cheer you up, buddy, and keep you in good spirits. Old style and Strohs with the Sox. Okay, so he did have his beer with the Sox. Okay. All right, now it's time for our Gigahertz question of the day, and it's presented by Gigahertz, the official computer solutions company of the Arena Sports Network. Gigahertz, and that's where we come in. Here is the question, and it goes a little something like this. If you had the chance to hang out with a cartoon character of your choice, who would it be, and what would y'all do? Again, the question, if you had the chance to hang out with a cartoon character of your choice, who would it be and what would you all do? Now, considering what we had yesterday with the Muppets combination, I'm almost afraid to see the enthusiasm that this response would bring. No, I'm not talking about the Muppets, Josh. I'm saving that second half conversation for tomorrow. And remember, this is Josh that gave me this question of the day. Again, it goes like this. If you had a chance to hang out with a cartoon character, who would it be and what would you guys do? I got Doc Prince is at it again. Daisy Duck to reproduce. Oh, that's just wrong. That's just plain wrong, man. Oh, gracious alive. I would probably, here we go. I would want to hang out with Daffy Duck and watch wrestling and doing speed. Oh, no. Here we go again. Here we go again with the combinations. I'd hang out with Bugs Bunny and we'd be watching baseball and watching his baseball cartoon. Here you go. Merch has a great answer. The mother from Toy Story, and you know why. I'm keeping it clean because Liz is here. That is crazy. Oh, man. Fitz has a thought. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and fight crime. There you go. There you go. How about that as a video game as well? They did that in the video game. Gigahertz question of the day one more time. If you had a chance to hang out with a cartoon character, who would it be and what would y'all do? What would I do with Bugs? We'd go to a Sox game. and then we'd be sitting in the stands right after the game and watch his old baseball cartoon. Watch some more cartoons, drink a few beers, watch more cartoons, make people laugh, terrorize them in fun. Carrie, who would be the cartoon character that you would hang out with? And Jeff, same question. Let me get some response from the folks here in the chat room. If you're online with us via Spreaker.com, jump on in the chat with us. I would have Bugs Bunny, and he would be my punch buddy. Hey, you ain't beating up Bugs, Josh. If you're beating up Bugs, I'm beating up Daffy. But then again, Josh combined Daffy with speed, and that's enough. Who would be a good cartoon character for Ronald to hang? Well, Ronald already said it. The mother from Toy Story. He already gave his answer. He says, "Watch it." You're the one talking about having Bugs as a punch buddy. So if Bugs is your punch buddy, then Daffy's my punch. You know what? I got an idea. I'll destroy Daffy Duck Josh. Oh, no. Fitz is in on the fun. Hey, Fitz, here's a question. Who would be, now, I mean this in fun, toward Tony Midas, the athletic director at Marquette Catholic, whom I will see next week, and we'll have them back on in a couple of weeks. Ron would love olive oil. I don't know about that. Hey, Fitz, who would be a good cartoon character for Tony to hang out with? I'm going to ask him that when he comes back from vacation. I'm going to ask him that. I'd hang out with Elmer Fudd and shoot back at Stateway Gardens every time they shot at U.S. Cellular while it was being built. There you go. There you go. Dr. Prince, I love this answer. Woody Woodpecker, and we would tear down Wrigley. That's another reason I'd hang out with Bugs. Agreed, Ron. Olive oil is too skinny. Agreed. That's what I do with Bugs, too. We'd put a lot of dynamite around Wrigley Field, trick the owners into saying we're making improvements, and then blow the sumbitch up. Which prompts this question, since olive oil was brought into the conversation, and again, our gigahertz question of the day, if you had a chance to hang out with a cartoon character, who would it be and what would y'all do? Since here is a cartoon question. Why did Bluto want Olive so much? Did y'all see how big Bluto is and how skinny Olive is? What is it that attracted? All right, I'm just going to pose a question we wanted to say as a kid, but now we get a chance to say it as adults. What attracted Olive to both Popeye and Bluto in the first place? The girl was bone thin. There you go. I'd hang out with the Smurfs and Smurf all day, says my honey Liz. Fitz says Bluto would be perfect for Tony Midas. There you go. Olive oil was a freak, Dr. Prince. Oh, my God. And you know what? Liz hanging out with the Smurfs would get me in trouble. Why? Because if I pulled a practical joke on anybody, she'd sick them on me. All she has to do is turn and look at me with a big smile. That's him. And Liz would be singing the song, too. And she'd probably get me singing it. Who am I to be kidding around? She'd probably get me singing it, too. Olive oil was a freak. Well, I don't know. Was she? We can't find out, or can we? Was Olive oil a freak? Was that why? See, that's why she went between two men. If you want to put it in today's societal context, that's why she went between two men. Let's see. For Donovan, I'd say Miss Piggy. Oh, no. Oh, no. See, Donovan can't have Miss Piggy as a hangout partner for a simple reason. That will be Liz's hangout partner, and whenever yours truly got in trouble, she'd have her chop me. They were sailors, and she liked them fighting over her. Very true point, Liz. How about the goon from Popeye? Oh, there you go. Jeff has a great answer. I'd like to hang out with the Jetsons. There you go. Try out some of their toys. You know what I mean? Just try out some of their toys. We're having a lot of fun here on Snowman in the morning 4 before the new hour. Mike to Mike flashback will come at 5 after the second hour. Our Gigahertz text line is open. You can text us at 312-548-1386. And we ask that you use the hashtag SITM. Tomorrow, the Exelon Files Part 2 gets underway as the boys tournament begins with the JV Championship, and that will come your way. There's been a time change. It would be at 5:45, and we'll go up at 5:30 with the pregame show. My super producer and I will have the call. Let's see, for Donovan, give him Judy Jetson. Oh, no. There you go, Liz. How about Scooby-Doo and have what he's having? There you go. He was always hyped, wasn't he? There you go, Liz. He was always hyped. The Harlem Globetrotters on Saturday morning. How much fun would that be? How much fun would that be? How much fun would that be to hang out with the Globetrotters on Saturday morning, or to hang out with the Globetrotters, period? Oh, Lordy. Having fun with our question of the day. If you had a chance to hang out with a cartoon character, who would it be, and what would you guys do? Wouldn't that be fun, though? Wouldn't that be fun? I'd have a ball hanging out with the Looney Tunes because I'm just that nuts, and I know I'm nuts. I know I'm crazy. I'd hang out with Pluto, says Josh. There you go. Pluto would be great. How about hanging out with Stewie and being in the time machine? Fitz says, I'll hate where he'll be tonight, and I'm almost afraid to ask. Fitz is down in Florida at the present time. My buddy Brian Payon, BP from Florida, trying to jump onto the chat with us. We had an episode of Lyle Files Live lined up. You're going to hear that tomorrow. That was taped at Union Station, and we had a great time with that conversation. We taped it before the Super Bowl. We're still trying to get all our segments organized, so you'll hear that tomorrow. My buddy Brendan Taylor having fun on Facebook, looking at some of the posts, but. Where are you going to be tonight, Fitz? Because Fitz already sent me a picture of him and Dick Vitale, a person who I'd love to meet. He sent me a picture from Florida Gulf Coast, or of Florida Gulf Coast, and now he's going to tell me, I think he's going to tell me where he's going to be tonight. Speaking of Marquette Catholic, some of the players there would be great as with some cartoon characters. I think they'd all love hanging out with Scooby. FGCU versus University of Jacksonville. Nice. Very, very nice. That's great. Oh, boy. That's our question of the day presented by Gigahertz. We got to pause for a break. When we come back, it'll be the flashback version of Mike to Mike. Had a chance to talk to Seth Cantor this past summer. He shared his thoughts on broadcasting, and at the time he was the voice of the Rockland Boulders, so he shared his thoughts on that season. That's after the break. You're listening to Snowman in the Morning, and it's presented by Fusion Ions Bands. We'll be back.
Gigahertz, providing customers with excellent service since 2008. Computer problem? Leave it to the staff at Gigahertz, priding themselves with an unparalleled work ethic and continuing to offer customers the lowest prices around. Gigahertz services include PC repair, networking, PC setup, custom PC builds, pickup and delivery, in addition to in-home and in-office service. Get small to large business solutions, service contracts, and much more. Computer problems? Gigahertz. And that's where we come in. Gigahertz for your computer repair and solution needs. In-home, in-store, wherever it's convenient for you. Think your PC's infected? Gigahertz offers free virus diagnostics with most virus removals done in 48 hours or less. Plus, they'll optimize your PC. Take that, Best Buy. Give Gigahertz a call. 219-218-9323. That's 219-218-9323. Or log on to gigahertzpc.net. Gigahertz, and that's where we come in. iGo Car Sharing, dedicated to creating a robust and seamlessly integrated transportation system that's ubiquitous, convenient, and affordable for individuals, and provides the region with expanded economic development opportunities and exemplary environmental performance. Since its inception in 2002, iGo has worked to catalyze a set of transportation innovations that make it feasible and desirable for Chicago residents to get around conveniently and economically without having to own a car, and at the same time, reduce vehicle miles traveled and greenhouse gas emissions. A mobility system that is independent of private car ownership, requires solutions that use resources efficiently, saves residents money, and decreases the individual and regional ecological footprint. It allows residents to easily choose between multiple modes of transportation to move from point to point quickly, inexpensively, and conveniently. Innovative information technology can integrate both trip planning and service payment across all types of transit, including rail transit, commuter rail, local bus, bus rapid transit, and more. Visit us online at igocars.org and find a location nearest you. iGo Cars, Chicago's only hometown nonprofit car sharing company.
You do a lot of thinking on a bike about your life, family, your dreams. One of my dreams came to me on a bike, to open up my own shop. So what happens when you complete a dream? Well, you just start thinking of the next.
Visit DrastichAgency.com or call 219-945-3040 and ask Joel Drastich how you can get all of your insurance under one roof.
Have you ever dreamed of being a karate master?
Yeah!
Well, stop dreaming and start chomping with the Karate Glove.
Hi, my name's Molly, inventor of the Karate Glove, and I have just 1.5 words for you. Hi-ya!
The Karate Glove chomps through anything. Just put it on and instantly chomp through wood, concrete, brick walls,
On the line with me,
trees, small cars. It can even chomp through these 8 guitars. It chomps things.
If I can invent a karate glove, just imagine what you can do. Visit inventnow.org to get started on your invention. Anything's possible. Keep thinking.
Brought to you by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the National Inventors Hall of Fame Foundation, and the Ad Council.
It's Hiya time!
How do you turn a batter into a hitter? With Slugmaster Hitting Stations. Slugmaster Hitting Stations are the most effective and durable baseball and softball batting practice devices available. Versatile, compact, and easy to use, they are excellent tools for ball player at any skill level. Attached to any pole or post for an instant hitting station. Use it at the ballpark, at home, or anywhere you want to get some hits in. Work the strike zone, top to bottom, in and out. The most complete workout year-round, indoors or outdoors, teams or individuals. Slugmaster equipment is constructed from high-grade steel. The rugged design means years and years of use. Slugmaster equipment is used by youth, high school, college, and professional ball players. For more information or to place your order, call 708-705-7354 or visit slugmaster.com. Slugmaster baseball and softball hitting aids, turning batters into hitters. courtesy of Gigahertz, was my very first guest when I did Mike to Mike the first time, so it's only fitting, as the revival happens, I have him back with me. He is Seth Cantor, and he joins me right now. What's going on, sir?
Brian, greetings from the East Coast. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
It's always a pleasure to speak with you as well. You're having I've had a chance to catch a lot of Boulders games, and you guys are having a wonderful season right now, so I know that it has been an absolute blast this year, sir.
Well, it absolutely has, Brian. Look, covering baseball at this level, or at any level, so to speak, you just want to play meaningful games in August. Fred Wilpon, the owner of the Mets, always used to say meaningful games in September. In minor league baseball, a 100-game season, it's meaningful games in August. The team is on a very, very tough Midwestern swing right now. The way the Can-Am League works, they play an interlocking schedule with the American Association, and for the second straight year, the Boulders have actually taken a trip out to the Midwest, and they're playing 10 games out there. Right now they're playing the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks. They didn't have a day off. They had a game that ended here 8 o'clock on Sunday night. They had a game at 7 o'clock local time yesterday. They had a plane connection, then a bus trip to Fargo, which is about 4 hours away from Minneapolis. But the team's playing great baseball this year. I mean, they're in position to reach the postseason. The way the Can-Am League works, you have the two top teams which go straight to the championship series right after the regular season ended. That's a 7-game series. So, things are looking good here in Rockwood, but there's still work to do.
You were my first guest when I first did Mike to Mike, and we talked a lot of things broadcasting, and one of the things that you and I talked about a lot was being prepared for whatever game or whatever sport that you call. And I know with whatever sport that you do, because I know you do basketball as well, one of the key things, especially with calling different sports, has got to be preparation.
Brian, you are absolutely right. Now, listen, I'm not going to say there's a right way or a wrong way to do it, but what I will say is you have to be well-versed. You have to know the team that you're covering inside and out. I'm not just talking about statistics either, Brian. I'm talking about human interest stories, storylines that develop from the preseason all the way towards the midpoint of the season and through the end of the season. You really have to get to know the team that you cover. There are two ways to attack it. Of course, you spend time with the team and the coaching staff and the players prior to the year. But when you're preparing for a game, you cannot just get on the microphone and wing it. I do not believe in that. There's some folks out there, God bless them, they're given with the gift that they're able to do that. But to me, it involves detail-oriented preparation on a game-to-game basis.
And, especially with baseball, the emotion can change from day to day. One night the Boulders, I use that as an example, can have a big win, and then the next night they can be caught totally off guard, and somehow you have to mix that in. And you mentioned something very, very important, and you taught me this when we first met, and that's human interest stories. I had a lot of those when I covered Roosevelt women's basketball last year when they were on their way to their conference title. You're right when you say there is not a right way or a wrong way to do this, but with you, how do you mix in those human interest stories and tie it into the game that's at hand?
Well, I think it's about having conversations with players. I think it's about learning about their families, learning about their past. Brian, with a 100-game season, it's such a long year. When you think of Major League Baseball, which is 162, but you look at a level like this, people say, well, 100, it's short. No, it's not. 100 games is very long. And you have to find ways to engage your listening audience. It's very important to do that. What I love about this level, Brian, everybody has a story to tell. You're on the bus with these guys. You go on road trips with them. Everybody has a past. Everybody has a road they took to get here. So to me, it's very important to mention those points when you have a broadcast that's 9 innings, 100 days per year.
And mixing all that in and getting to know everybody, that's so important. Talking with Seth Cantor, the voice of the Rockland Boulders, here on Mike to Mike, presented by Subway of Downtown Chicago. This portion of the afternoon locker room presented by Slugmaster Baseball and Softball Hitting Aids. What other sports or teams do you call games for out in your area?
I call games for St. Francis College. They're a Division I school in Brooklyn, one of the 5 boroughs of New York City. I also do fill-in work for Army, West Point women's basketball team. I do about 10 games per year for them. I have the Boulders, which is a 100-game schedule. I'm also doing work now with MSG Varsity. James Dolan, the owner of Madison Square Garden, Knicks and Rangers. He actually has the MSG Network, and they have a high school-focused channel, which is Channel 14 here in the lower Hudson Valley, Rockwood County, Bergen County, Westchester County, if we have folks that listen there. And it's dedicated towards high school sports, and it's a very professional production. I got that opportunity in the spring of last year. I had the chance to call lacrosse, and the way I was approached with that one, Brian, if you want this opportunity, if you want to be a part of MSG Varsity, you need to learn lacrosse. And I've called lacrosse before, but not in the detail that they had asked me to do it. So my advice to folks, if there's an opportunity out there for you, even if it's something you're not entirely comfortable with, absolutely take it, because you never know where the road's going to lead. I'll give you another quick example. I was given the opportunity to call my first wrestling match back in the spring between Army and Navy. And everybody knows that Army and Navy is one of the most intense rivalries in college sports.
Yes, indeed.
So the nerves that I had going into that broadcast, because I had never attended a live wrestling match, I had never watched a live wrestling match, the nerves I had prior to that broadcast were through the roof. But you know what? Within 3 weeks of the fact that I knew I was doing this, I was watching every possible wrestling match I could, not only on television but online, getting well-versed with the rules. I was very fortunate because I had a terrific color commentator who stole the show, but at the same time, I wouldn't have been nearly as comfortable if I didn't take that time and within 3 to 4 weeks and prepare and get to know that sport as best I could.
How do you prepare when you get a new sport to cover and to call? And I was introduced that with hockey in 2005 on the high school level. What is the first thing you do to get yourself prepared to learn that new sport and to call it?
Know the rules. First and foremost, know the rules. Know the nuances of the game. You're not going to pick up everything, but I think it's very important to know the key rules and key points that listeners and viewers can identify with first and foremost. Then after that, you get to know the teams, and that's really where you can focus on human interest. I was very fortunate with that broadcast, Brian, reason being it was a video cast as opposed to a radio cast. Now, a video cast is more of an analyst medium, and I was very fortunate to have somebody who wrestled for West Point in the early 80s and who knew the team exceptionally well. So he really stole the show in that regard. But I think you have to know the logistics and the rules of the sport that you're covering before you can even get to part two.
And that is so true. We talked about it before, Seth. It's one thing that you and I share, and that's being prepared. We're creatures of habit when it comes to that. And there's one particular game that you did with the Boulders earlier this year that I heard the end of live. I couldn't believe it, but you got me the clip of it, and I listened to that ninth inning. It was Rockland playing Quebec, and that 3-run walk-off home run. How exciting was that? Was it for you to be there for that one?
Oh, that was a thrill, especially because over the first two seasons, Brian, Quebec has handled Rockland pretty easily. Now, in the latter half of last year, Rockland actually took control of that series. But for this team to be where they've been the first 2 years as an expansion organization and to have that momentum shift against a team that's won 4 straight Can-Am League championships, it showed me that Rockland, this team, belonged. And it was that was probably the most exciting part of it, combined with the fact that it was one of the better moments in the history of this young organization. So for me, it was absolutely thrilling because it showed me that this organization had finally arrived.
One more thing before I let you go. If there was a dream scenario where you could call a game in your favorite stadium or arena, what stadium or arena is it?
Madison Square Garden, without question. Without question. I grew up listening to Mike Breen call Knicks games and look at the career that he's having now on ESPN and on ABC. I was fortunate enough to call 2 St. Francis games in Madison Square Garden a couple of years ago. Just being a lifelong New Yorker, a lifelong Knicks fan, to me the Garden would be the place to be. And it's an absolutely outstanding venue. They just renovated the arena, so it's absolutely beautiful. But to me, the history of that building and just what's gone on there over the past 40-plus years, to me, that's the place to be. And being fortunate enough, if I don't call any games there, again, I can always say that I did call 2 games in Madison Square Garden because those were absolutely scintillating and thrilling moments for me, and I hope I'd have the opportunity to go back.
And I hope you do also, and I hope to have the opportunity to call a couple games at Madison Square Garden because, you know, as Mike Walshewski always says when he greets the fans, it's the world's most famous arena. I have Seth Cancer on the line with me as we talk all things broadcasting in Mike to Mike, and it's presented this afternoon by Subway of downtown Chicago. Seth Cancer, always a pleasure, my friend. I thank you very much. I wish you much continued success, not only this year, but in years to come.
Brian, it's always a pleasure. And just a couple of quick tips, if you don't mind, some things I'd like to pass along
Go ahead.
to the broadcasters, in addition to being well-researched. Something I've always learned, and I got to tell you, Vince Scully is my favorite broadcaster. I'm actually fortunate enough to listen to him call games. What I do is I have the MLB at Bat app on my iPhone, and I drive home from Boulder's games, and I listen to him call games from the West Coast, and he paints the picture so well. But what he also does, Brian, and you don't see this as much today because, again, it's all about flash and pizzazz. He's not bigger than the broadcast. So I would caution all young broadcasters, or just advise all young broadcasters, let the game, let the moments tell the story. You don't have to be the story. To me, now that's a point that was taught to me very early on, and I'd like to think that it's guided me very well.
And that's a tip that I will pass along to the folks to the folks that I teach, because there are a couple of broadcasters in my stable that I'm helping along, and I take that advice personally every time, and I know you do as well. Seth Cantor joining me via the Gigahertz Hotline. Thank you very much, sir. Continued success to you. Can't wait to talk to you again.
Brian, it's always a pleasure. Best to you, and best of luck to you in your fall broadcasting endeavors. Looking forward to hearing it.
Seth Cantor joining me on the Gigahertz Hotline this past summer. I thank you very much. A very, very successful broadcaster. As mentioned, voice of St. Francis, the video and radio voice of St. Francis, so you can hear him. Go to NEC, that's Northeast Conference, NEC Front Row, necfrontrow.com, and you can hear St. Francis, my other buddy Mike Ventola. They both do a great job. Pause for a break. When we come back, got more stuff for you. Snowman in the Morning, coming at you live from Chicago. This is the Arena Sports Network.
iGo Car Sharing, dedicated to creating a robust and seamlessly integrated transportation system that's ubiquitous, convenient, and affordable for individuals, and provides the region with expanded economic development opportunities and exemplary environmental performance. Since its inception in 2002, iGo has worked to catalyze a set of transportation innovations that make it feasible and desirable for Chicago residents to get around conveniently and economically without having to own a car, and at the same time reduce vehicle miles traveled and greenhouse gas emissions. A mobility system that is independent of private car ownership requires solutions that use resources efficiently, saves residents money, and decreases the individual and regional ecological footprint. It allows residents to easily choose between multiple modes of transportation to move from point to point quickly, inexpensively, and conveniently. Innovative information technology can integrate both trip planning and service payment across all types of transit, including rail transit, commuter rail, local bus, bus rapid transit, and more. Visit us online at igocars.org and find a location nearest you. iGo Cars, Chicago's only hometown nonprofit car sharing company.
Want to get your rankings in the truest form? Want to get the best college news without all the fluff? Then tune in to Swamp's Collegiate Sports Show. Join Kevin the Swamp Rat Horan as he ranks all the collegiate sports, from football to basketball and baseball to cross country, soccer, and so much more. Don't forget to visit www.kevinhoranrankings.com and sign up for his newsletter buzzing across the country. So if you want the best college news and rankings and see how the pros are outsmarted, tune in to Swamp's Collegiate Sports Show. The Swamp Rat ranks them right every Wednesday night at 8 on the Arena Sports Network.
Anne Marie specializes in premier 5-star vendor and craft shows. She also offers event planning for special events of any kind. Anne Marie's goal is to provide both her vendors and shoppers with an exceptional experience, believing that promotion is the key to any successful event. Anne Marie has developed personal relationships with her vendors and is constantly being sought by vendors who would like to participate in her popular events, often with wait lists for vendors. Working with Anne Marie is an enjoyable, stress-free experience. Anne Marie is a perfectionist and very creative. She is 100% committed to each event from beginning to end and believes that promotion is the key to any successful event. No stone will go unturned as it relates to promotion. For the ultimate in event planning, contact Anne Marie today at 219-741-0435 or visit anne-marieprince.com. Premier events in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana are brought to you by Anne Marie.
Beyond the second hour here on Snowman in the Morning, and okay, that's what we're looking for. Hope you're enjoying the show so far here on this Thursday. Having fun in the chat room as always. You know what? There's a person, I won't reveal his name, but there's a person that's trying to get to me because of some business that did not go the way that it's expected some time back. Now he's trying to, trying to get to me. And my only message to this I'll have a better message before we close the show. My only message to this bitch, good luck. Okay? Just good luck. Because it ain't working. Too many people are backing us up. Snowman in the Morning on this Thursday, 21 beyond the hour. Fitz loves the tune that I just played, which, of course, was Highway to Hell by AC/DC. All right. We continue on, and here is something that has become a big, big thing recently, and I paid attention to it recently to see how big it is. It's National Signing Day. And, of course, all of the big colleges get all the big recruits, and they get all of the attention. But you know where I'm going with my next subject. What about the colleges that aren't so big? Darn it, dropped my pen. What about the colleges that aren't so big and they land some big recruits? Do they not deserve the same amount of attention? Do they not deserve the same amount of love? It's for football, and it's mostly football and basketball where all this happens. And, of course, off-season events like the NFL draft, the NBA draft have become such big things now. They've become such big things. I mean, what happened to just someone making a decision on a college, being done with it, no cameras, no microphones, no interviews, no kind of ballyhoo like that? Have you made the decision? Yes. Okay. Where are you going? I'm going to USC. Okay, fine. Done. What happened to those days? National Signing Day has become too big of a thing for me. Okay? And the reason I say it's too big of a thing to me, it's become too commercialized. Other events I mentioned, the NBA draft, the NFL draft, Major League Baseball's trying to follow suit. National Signing Day for football and for basketball has become too commercialized. I mean, right here in Chicago, Cliff Alexander made a decision, and there were cameras everywhere. And he made that decision at Whitney Young High School, because there's 2,500 people in there. But at the same time, if you want to, I know it's all about getting attention. I know that, and I realize that. But at the same time, let the kids be kids. I've always wanted to express this. There is too much pressure being put on kids now that are of substance in terms of athletics and in terms of academics as well, for them to make a decision. There's too much pressure being put on them now. I mean, the lights are in their the cameras are in their face all the time. There's a microphone in their face. Have you made a decision? And you're pressuring these kids to make a decision that maybe they didn't want to make. That's why you see a lot of decommits. That's exactly why you see a lot of decommits from one school, and then they go somewhere else, and they go somewhere smaller. They go somewhere smaller. Excuse me. They go somewhere smaller. Now, about the kids who do sign, the kids that are actually that actually want to play football and have a dream of playing at a certain school, kudos to them, and they've worked hard. One of the gentlemen that I know very, very well who signed with Notre Dame is Nick Wisher from Marist. Nick Wisher, a tight end and a linebacker, a phenomenal career at Marist, led them to the state semifinals this past year, where they lost to Naperville North. One of the people I have loved watching. But if you're 17, 18 years old, getting ready to make a choice for college, and you have breakout seasons and you progress athletically as well as academically, my question is, wouldn't it frighten you a little bit when the time to make a choice for a college comes around? It would frighten me. It would frighten me because of all the attention that's going around. Sometimes it could be a good thing. Sometimes it could be a bad thing. But there is a lot of pressure and peer pressure going around with these kids. And if I were a coach or a parent, which I am, I would just say, look, you just make the decision that's best for you. I'll support you either way you go. The best example that I have seen of that, watched a special on television recently, The Book of Manning. So much pressure on Peyton to go to Mississippi, he went to Tennessee. Eli went to Mississippi. And Archie just stood back and was a parent. Fitz has a thought, it frightened me 25 years ago. Yeah. That's how long this thing has been, and it's gotten crazier each year. And I hope Fitz can relay his story here through the chat about how it went for him. But it's got to frighten the kids sometimes. I'm just throwing it out there. You know, and sometimes the kids are not allowed to express how they feel about situations like this because they have to concentrate. First and foremost, aside of National Signing Day, they should be focused on graduation. They should be focused on graduation. They should be focused on finishing their high school career. They should be focused on academics. My super producer, Josh, people told me I would never get accepted to Berkeley, but I did by myself. There you go. Fitz adds, he was hounded by schools. Fitz, which ones hounded you? But look at the colleges that are out there that are thirsty for recruits. The obvious. Any school in the SEC, Alabama at the top of the pile. Notre Dame, of course. The schools here in Illinois and Northwestern. Ohio State, Michigan. Southern California. Those are the main schools that get all the love. You know, and a great thought by Jeff Eskow. This is nothing but hype for the NCAA. That is all it is. That's all it is. It's not about the kids. It's about the NCAA getting the pub that they want. I wouldn't be surprised if there were many cases of kids going through the National Signing Day thing. And John just gave me a great example. Marquette Catholic Jr. Ryan Facekas, who is committed to Providence. They were on him like crazy. You know, and there's a second half to this conversation going from college to the pros. I'll do that one either tomorrow or Monday. But be that as it may, these schools, when they see a quote-unquote 5-star recruit, and who came up with the rating system? What happened to just, he's a good player, he can help us, we can help him get better, let's get him? Who came up with the rating system for these college recruits? Who came up with the rating system for these scouts to use? I mean, does the rating system really matter? I mean, here's the situation. The kids make them tons of money. There you go, Jeff. The kids don't get anything. And I agree, that has to change. That's an argument in and of itself that we're going to have next week. But what if you sign with one school? Okay, how about this? Let's take the case of college football. I'll get back to the ratings in just a moment. Let's take the case of college football. What if you're a high school quarterback and you played quarterback all of your life? You know no other position, but in some schools you play offense and defense. Happens a lot here in Chicago, especially in the public league. What if you played quarterback all your life, just giving a hypothetical example, and it's not that hypothetical because it's happened, and you get recruited by a school hard. I mean, they come after you. They find all kinds of little messages to send to you. I've seen some of the recruiting packages that coaches will send out, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Just to convince a kid to go to their campus? Okay, what if a coach spends all that time and all that money talking to the parents and the kid doesn't feel it? How about that? What's it do for the coaches? It makes them mad. It makes the university mad because they're losing out on an ass load of money. Come on, let's just call it the way we see it. All right, all these signing day things, I feel, need to be either cut in half or cut out completely. Let the kids make the decision on their own with their families, please. Take the cameras out of their faces. Take the microphones out of their mouths. Because now you get it in the children's mind after them, the juniors and the sophomores, that if they play great as an individual, that the schools will come hounding for them, and they go through the insane recruiting process when it should be concentrated on them playing team ball still. What kind of image are we sending here with National Signing Day? What kind of image is the NCAA sending to them? That you're going to be one of our latest meal tickets? I thought I'd never say that in my life as much as I love watching college sports, but got to call a spade a spade. What kind of message is being sent with National Signing Day? All right, let me go further. You know it's a big National Signing Day for football. You know it's a big National Signing Day for basketball. Why don't they do the same for baseball? If it's a big hype day for the NCAA, let's throw baseball into the equation. And, Jeff, you just echoed a question that I just posed. If you're going to do it for one, do it for all of them. It's a big deal. National Signing Day is a big deal for baseball, for football, and basketball. Why don't they do the same for baseball? MLB is trying to follow suit with their big time, with their draft, trying to put it under the lights the way the NFL and the NBA do their drafts. National Hockey League the same way. But look at National Signing Day. Even soccer. Absolutely, Fitz. Soccer is starting to catch on. Lacrosse is starting to catch on. If National Signing Day is so big when it comes to college football and college basketball, why don't they do the same for the other sports? Why don't they do the same for the quote-unquote non-revenue sports? And there's no such thing, in my opinion, there's no such thing as non-revenue sports, because if you're charging fans to see your games, there's revenue, period. If you have concessions at your games, no matter what the event, there's revenue, period. The only reason they say non-revenue sports is because it doesn't bring millions and millions and millions of dollars the way that football and basketball do. Never understood that. Never understood why National Signing Day cannot be equal across the board for all sports. And I think what frightens the bigwigs of the NCAA is the fact that it could catch on. It frightens them twofold. Number one, they're afraid that it won't catch on. But number two, in the back of their minds, they're afraid it will catch on. That's the point. You're supposed to get a lot of attention for the kids that you want to bring to your college. But sometimes this attention is out of bleeping control. It's out of control. It needs to tone down, or it needs to be totally eliminated. National Signing Day, I think, is a bad idea, and it has been a bad idea for a while. Too much unwarranted attention, too much hype for the NCAA. And the people that suffer the most are the kids. Because, and I say the kids suffer because two sports get a lot of attention. All right, let me go one step further. How come they don't do this for women's college basketball? How come no National Signing Day for women's hoops? Are they not as popular as the men? Are they not as competitive as the men? You know, we talked about this earlier in the week. I believe that they are, and more so. Why don't they have a National Signing Day? Why don't they have a National Signing Day for softball? You know, Fitz already gave me a point. Why don't they do it for soccer? You want a sport that's catching on in the college ranks very quickly? How about lacrosse? Why don't they have a National Signing Day for lacrosse? It just seems to me that National Signing Day is a little skewed across the board. And I really feel that it needs to change. It either needs to be toned down, and a lot of equal love should be given to all the sports, or they should cut it out completely. It's crazy with all, and I mentioned the ratings before. Who came up with these rankings, and when did it start? Something we're going to be following for a while. Pause for a break. When we come back, my message to the fans, a positive message inside of the journey in a deuce.
Some statistics are surprising, some are unbelievable, and some are simply unacceptable. Right now, nearly 30% of U.S. students aren't finishing high school. Nearly 30%. And that's the average. In many places, it's even higher than that. And fixing it is a responsibility that we all share. This is President Obama, and I urge everyone, not just parents, but friends and neighbors and family members, to take responsibility for encouraging the high school students in your communities, to support them, challenge them, push them a little, and do whatever it takes to help them make it through. Because this is one statistic we simply can't afford to ignore.
You can do your part by going to boostup.org and sending an email, a text message, or even a wake-up call to a student at risk of dropping out. Go to boostup.org and provide the boost that's needed to make it to graduation. A message from the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Have you ever wanted your own phone app but thought it was too expensive? Here is something even better. The best custom mobile page QR system in the world, designed for smartphones, iPhones, and tablets. Have the business card of the future for our mobile world. It includes your own customizable mobile page with unlimited flexibility, your contact info, YouTube channel, videos, events, specials, audio, and more, all on your mobile page. Your own back office so you can make real-time, unlimited updates and changes as often and as much as you want. One code is all you will ever need as you change anything in real time from your back office. This is your business card on all ads, Facebook, t-shirts, flyers, and doorways everywhere. All of this for $99.90 a year plus a $3 payment fee. Visit www.qr2015.net for more information or call 312-802-1208. That's 312-802-1208. The future is in your hands. Call or visit online today.
Gigahertz, providing customers with excellent service since 2008. Computer problem? Leave it to the staff at Gigahertz, priding themselves with an unparalleled work ethic and continuing to offer customers the lowest prices around. Gigahertz services include PC repair, networking, PC setup, custom PC builds, pickup and delivery, in addition to in-home and in-office service. Get small to large business solutions, service contracts, and much more. Computer problems? Gigahertz. And that's where we come in. Gigahertz for your computer repair and solution needs. In-home, in-store, wherever it's convenient for you. Think your PC's infected? Gigahertz offers free virus diagnostics, with most virus removals done in 48 hours or less. Plus, they'll optimize your PC. Take that, Best Buy. Give Gigahertz a call. 219-218-9323. That's 219-218-9323. Or log on to gigahertzpc.net. Gigahertz. And that's where we come in.
Want to get your rankings in the truest form? Want to get the best college news without all the fluff? Then tune in to Swamp's Collegiate Sports Show. Join Kevin the Swamp Rat Horan as he ranks all the collegiate sports, from football to basketball and baseball to cross country, soccer, and so much more. Don't forget to visit www.kevinhoranrankings.com and sign up for his newsletter buzzing across the country. So if you want the best college news and rankings and see how the pros are outsmarted, tune in to Swamp's Collegiate Sports Show. The Swamp Rat ranks them right every Wednesday night at 8 on the Arena Sports Network.
Region Signs is a company specializing in the design and manufacturing of custom signage and identification. Located conveniently in downtown Whiting, Region Signs services and promptly delivers to many companies in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. They're also an ASI company with thousands of promotional companies ready to supply any of your identification needs. For more information, call 219-473-1616.
Hey, Fitz, how about this one? How about this song to begin your day, folks? Snowman in the Morning back at you, 43 beyond the second hour. Hope that you enjoyed the show today here on the Arena Sports Network. The arenasportsnetwork.com is where you go for all the best and the brightest from the newest player in the game. The Arena Sports Network, where every team has a fan. If you like what you're hearing here on the Arena Sports Network, why don't you consider becoming a listener partner? For $30 a year, you help us keep our operations going, bring the best content to the fans, and bring everything back to the real stars of the Arena Sports Network, the student athletes. Become a listener partner today. Go to thearenasportsnetwork.com/listener partner, and all the information is there, and you can make your contribution there. Tomorrow, Noble Network JV Championship is on the line from Exelon Gym on Chicago's north side, as we'll have the coverage for you beginning at 5:30 Central Time. And Saturday, Noble Network playoff doubleheader, also from Exelon Gym. 10 and 11:45 are the times. And then at 3, UIC women's basketball returns to ASN as they will host Green Bay and try to look for their second consecutive win after a win this past Tuesday night versus Oakland. That's all Saturday on the Arena Sports Network. Very special birthday. George Brett is celebrating his birthday today. And Fitz says, play that song, Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who, when they announced Coach Jordan Gallus. There you go. There's an idea. But thanks to all the folks that have jumped online to chat with us. We appreciate it. Time for a little sports history on this day. It is February 6th. In 1921, the New York Yankees issued a press conference to announce the purchase of 10 acres of property in the West Bronx. The land was used for Yankee Stadium 1. 5 years later, in 26, the National Football League adopted a rule that made players ineligible for competition until their college class graduated, a rule I think they should bring back. In 32, dog sled racing happened for the first time in Olympic competition. In 1958, Ted Williams signed a contract with the Boston Red Sox that was worth $135,000. The contract made him the highest paid player in Major League history at the time. In 1970, the NBA expanded to 18 teams. For the 1970-71 year, the new teams added were Buffalo, Cleveland, Houston, and Portland. In 1986, Peter McNabb of the New Jersey Devils became the 42nd player to score 450 goals. 4 years later, in 1990, Brett Hull of the St. Louis Blues and his father Bobby Hull became the only father-son combination in NHL history to score 50 goals in a season. And in 2005, the New England Patriots defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 24-21 in Super Bowl 39. It was the third win in 4 years for the New England Patriots. That's on this day, February 6th, in sports history. Again, we thank everybody for joining us. John Fitz just posed a question. Doesn't your friend in Jacksonville cover the University of Jacksonville? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't, John. He covers the University of North Florida. He's their public address announcer for University of North Florida. Now then, time to go inside the journey as we bring this episode to a close. And what I have on the docket is something that Josh brought to me, and we talked about it this morning, the tactics of bullying. And just went through it a couple of moments ago with some fool jumping in the chat here on Spreaker. And I will just go ahead and tell the situation without naming names or some specifics. This gentleman worked with me when I expanded the ISNet branch into Indiana, and he helped me do sales. Could I pay him at the time? Unfortunately, no. I didn't know what I was doing, and I said that. Ron says, thanks for all of your support. Ron, we love you. We love you, Ron, and we're here for you, no matter what. I mean that, and I know the rest of the crew means that. You're Inside the Journey, presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Now, again, I'm just going to go ahead and get this off my chest. I won't reveal names. I won't sling mud. I will just tell what happened. At a point in my life in 2010, trying to open a branch of ISNet in Indiana, trying to do it by myself, didn't have much help. I didn't know what I was doing, especially when it came to money. I admit that. And I couldn't pay this gentleman that I had working with me and for me at the time. Now he's held a grudge against me, trying to bring my past against me, trying to bring certain people against me. He has contacted me through email. He has contacted me through Facebook. He has texted me. And I said all that to say this. We will not be bullied by you, sir. We refuse to be bullied by someone who takes time out of their day listening to a company that to him is a peon. And in fact, he's the one that's making himself look dumb by taking time out of his day to search us out, to search out our programming, and then make negative comments about it. So it's on him that he's being stupid. I said I wouldn't throw him under the bus. I apologize. It just seems to me that if you're not worried about a small-time company, that if you're not worried or don't even care about the money that it's owed to you, why are you taking the time to seek us out? Why are you taking the time to seek me out? Why are you taking the time to do some absolutely ignorant things to either A, further your own cause, or B, ruin mine? My super producer Josh has come to me. A couple of other folks have come to me about this person. Joelle from American Family Insurance said, hey, who is this guy? I told her what happened, and she doesn't care. Stop holding on to the past, will you? I've made my apology. I've asked you to forgive me, and you didn't. So that lets me know what kind of person you are. It also lets me know what kind of person you are when you continually harp on something that I am trying to correct that happened in the past, but you won't let me. And as a matter of fact, you give me reason not to. And I hope it just absolutely pisses you off when we take off. Now, am I willing to meet with this gentleman? Yeah, but it's going to be on my terms. I have told him that. And I want to thank this person for being a listener. You know, and Ron says a great point. If they took the time to let it be known that they were here, even though they dispatched some disparaging comments, then they're adding to the numbers. They're adding to the numbers. But it's not just him. There's other people involved too. Involved around Josh, involved around Merch, around me, that say you can't do this. And I talked about this Monday. And people try to bully you into thinking the way that they think, into believing what they believe. Well, I'm of the belief that dreams do come true. And this is a dream that I've held on to and have fertilized for 18 years. And there are some people behind us. There's a team involved now. There's a team involved now. And that is what this person and these people failed to realize using their bullying tactics. They use the bullying tactics to try to get in your head. And I was bullied all through high school, okay? Let me get that out of the way. I was bullied all through high school. Didn't let him get to me. Not going to let him get to us. You know what it shows me, though? These people that find us and listen to our program only to make disparaging comments. Ron said it a moment ago. It shows that they're listening. It shows that we are a threat to them. A big threat. Here's another thing that's not realized. Not only are we a big threat to them, we're a big threat to a few other people, because obviously he's going to spread the word, okay, and try to get other people thinking in the negative way that he does. But to the people who are smart and actually come to me and ask what happened, applause, applause, applause. To the folks that form their opinion just off of what they heard, in a playful way, I say, shame on you. And I just hope that you come around and find out what really happened. And I also hope to this gentleman, and I mean this from the heart, I also hope to the people that try to bully us will realize that A, we're not listening to you, B, we're paying attention to the fact that you're listening to us and our programming. And on a personal note, C, that I can meet with this gentleman and differences can be squared away. I mean that. But as long as the bullying tactics are used, you get no attention from me. You get no attention from us. There's a lot of hard work that's being put in here at ASN, especially when we rebranded from the ISNet label April 1st of last year. And now with folks like Jeff Escow of Sports World Radio, Fitz, Merch, my super producer Josh Lopez, Liz Rorick, Carrie, who jumped on this morning, Dr. Prince of the Open Mic Broadcast Network, with all that support going on. And them knowing about me and the mistakes that were made in the past, they're on the train and they're ready to step on the gas. As unfair as it is, that these people use these bullying tactics, it just makes us stronger as a team. It just makes us stronger as individuals and, as I mentioned, as a team, period. It just makes the circle of support that much more solid. The people that have come on with me know what happened. I've told them up front what happened. And they said, you know what? We're with you. We are sticking with you, and we're standing behind you. We're standing behind you. And I can tell the folks that have sent all the positive comments that we've gotten on Facebook and through our chat, that means more to me than anything else. Something big is going to be put together by the end of this month. And it's going to be a huge step for us. Huge. And when that happens, everything will be, the ante will be upped and everything will go up a level. While I'm saying thank you, my super producer, Josh Lopez, who gets even less sleep than me because he's on our Facebook page posting articles of what happened in the NBA and the NHL, and I know he's going to do the same for Major League Baseball. You know, Josh has told me, I'm with you. Liz has said the same thing. So has Merch, so has Fitz. And I cannot tell you guys how much that means to me. My buddy Brian Payon in Florida, you know, he gets in my ear saying, look, you just keep going forward. An old friend said it best, fast forward and no looking back. Fast forward and no looking back, and we're not looking back. I admitted up front that I made some mistakes. I've said it many, many times, and each time that I say that, I feel better about myself because everything is moving forward, and I'm learning from the mistakes that I made before. Always learning. Have to learn. Always learning. So these people that love to bully us and bully ASN, I'm sorry, it's just not working because we're not listening to you. It's just not working. And if you're trying to force us to take the low road, that's not going to work either because we are above your bullying tactics. My friends have asked me what's going on with all the posts that have appeared on my page on Facebook, and they're like, Brian, what's going on? I'm like, dude, all this person wants is attention. That's all this person wants. That's all these people that are bullying us want. Anybody that bullies you in your life, all they want is attention. All they want is for you to pay them a little bit of attention so they can get the payoff, and your day will have a little glitch in it because you gave them that time. But I invoke the words of Kevin Garnett after his title win in 2008. You just say, you know what, it's going to stop today. When he was relaying about being bullied in school. Next day, that bully comes up to you and you lay his ass out. You're kind of shaking because you don't know how he's going to come back. And you don't see him the next day. It's a sigh of relief and you can go forward because you knocked the bully's ass out. Well, with what we're doing here at ASN, I'm going to go ahead and say it. And Jeff, thank you. He says, screw him. Everybody says screw him. And I will go ahead and echo the words of Kevin Garnett. We knocked the bully's ass out. We knocked his ass clean out. And we're going to continue to knock everybody that bullies us out flat. And at the same time, we're going to pick up all kinds of momentum while we're doing it. And with that thought in mind,
that's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Oh, man.
Wasn't that great, kid?
tomorrow, it's the Potluck Friday. This whole week has been a potluck week, but it's Potluck Friday You'll hear a conversation I had with Michael Lyle. You'll hear another Mike to Mike, and all kinds of great sports talk on the hottest new internet sports talk show in the morning, Snowman in the Morning, every Monday through Friday, beginning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. For my super producer, Josh Lopez, for Jeff Escal of Sports World Radio, my buddies Ron Murchison and my buddy Fitz, and to my coordinating producer and the love of my life, Liz Rourke, I love you all. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Thank you for the great conversation today. Ron, this one's for you. We love you, and we're behind you. And I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Have a great day. God bless, and remember to make your next move your best move. So long, everybody.